All right, Corvette-Mopar family. Let me take my mask off real fast. Just want to introduce you to my dad, my pop, person that started all in his 1982 Corvette. Name is Hardy Carper. My best man, best friend, best man at my wedding. All around cool person. Dad, let me know about your car. What I already kind of said what it is, but let me know what year.
Well, it's a 1982 Corvette, the last of the C3s, and my wife and I purchased the car in a 1982. Actually, we special ordered the car. Took approximately 3 months before we got delivery of the car, but the main reason why we special ordered it was because there were some options we wanted on the car and we couldn't find those options at the time that we were ready to purchase it. An example of some of a couple options with the interior of the car, we wanted cloth interior. Of course now it has leather, but when we ordered it we wanted cloth. The reason for that is because at the time we had small kids and we knew that the kids would be crawling over the leather, so we decided cloth would probably be more durable. The other option we wanted to get on the car that we couldn't get at the time was this car comes with removable T-top rack that goes on the back. You can see the place for it, but it allows you to take the T-tops off and put them on the back of the car rather than put them on the inside of the car. So for that reason, we had to order it. And this two-tone color was kind of unique at the time and wasn't a lot of them out, so that was probably the third reason we wanted the two-tone blue.
What's the name? So the name of the color is two-tone blue?
Yes, it's two-tone blue. It's an aqua color blue at the top and a dark, I can't remember now, blue at the bottom.
Okay. So it's I see it has crossfire injection on the side. Can you kind of explain a little bit about what that means?
Yes, it's crossfire. In 1982, they came out with fuel injection for the Corvette. In 81, it was a carbureted car. In 82, it came out with fuel injection with approximately 10 to 20 more horsepower than 81. But what it is it's got two throttle body injectors that sit on top of the motor. And rather than being side by side, they actually one sits ahead of kind of counter corner of each other, and one injects the cylinder on the left, the one on the right injects the cylinder on the left, and one on the left injects fuel to the cylinders on the other side of the motor.
Okay. Since taking delivery of this car, I know a lot of people talk about the 1982 motors and reliability. Have you had any issues with it?
Well, yes, we did. I guess maybe a couple years after we purchased the car, the camshaft went flat in the car, and which prompted me to replace the cam. I actually did the work myself, put a little bit larger cam than what came from the factory, only to find out a few months later that GM had a recall on it, and I could have had it done at the dealership.
Okay. Let's go ahead and pop the hood. Check out the motor.
Like I said, everything in the motor is pretty much still original except for the camshaft. Everything else is, as you can see, is
Clean.
pretty original.
Definitely clean motor. I know that you took care of it.
Yeah, it still runs really good.
And what's the horsepower torque on this one?
Well, from the factory it was 200 horsepower. I can't remember what the torque level was, but it was a meager 200. I think after I did the work with the camshaft, I may have picked up maybe 20 more horsepower, possibly.
But they rated the horsepower different back then, so that's kind of at the wheel.
Yeah, at the wheel, I believe so. One thing I can tell you is that because of still under the emissions problems that we had back in the 80s, the compression ratio was one reason why a lot of the V8s were down on horsepower, because the compression ratio was less than it had been.
Okay. But it still runs fine. And did you do anything else to, like any gearing, or everything else is pretty much stock?
No, the gearing is the same. Unfortunately, in 82, the only option was an automatic. If I had to do anything different, it would have been to get a 4-speed, but that option we didn't have that option in '82. We could only get and the transmission was a 700R4.
Okay.
So it's an automatic.
What it makes it kind of special because it's a 1 year. In 1982, it only had automatic, so it didn't really have option, which makes it kind of unique. And this is before the C4 generation, so it's the last of the C3 from '68 to 1982. What made you go with a 1982?
Well, I can tell you this though before I go to the reason. My wife and I, we really wanted a Corvette, probably around 1980, and we saved up for it. And in '82, we bought this one. And I have to tell you, my wife drove it. It was her daily driver. I mean, really, I'll be honest, it was really her car rather than my car. And she drove it every day, and I drove it on the weekends. But the good thing about it, because in '82 they didn't have an '83, we did enjoy having the latest and greatest for an extra year before the '84s came out.
Okay, awesome. And as far as I know, you mentioned the cloth interior. I guess was it blue also?
Yes, the interior was blue. The interior actually matches the bottom half of the car. It's the same, basically the same color.
Okay.
So, and of course it came with the T-tops. And actually this car is optioned out. The only option this car doesn't have is cruise control. It's got all the other options.
You mind if we check out the inside?
Sure.
Nice. Leather interior. I do remember having cloth, obviously, guys. I was a little kid when my dad got this car. And it was definitely a fun car to cruise in. What a passion for Corvettes came from was from my dad in this car. Actually, I think I drove it for the first time when I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. My dad left me in the car, and he went to check the mail really quickly, and I put the car in gear. And that's the first time I remember how quick the car was, but also the first time I remember how fast my dad was running. We always go back and forth on who's the fastest, and I'll probably say he was the fastest, especially on that day, because when his baby boy was in the car, that's why I remember how quickly he got to the door. Awesome.
Well, I can tell you the good thing is that I had the door open, so it helped me to get in the car and able to stop the car. But without telling your age, when we purchased this car, you were only 3 years old.
Wow.
So here we are today. We still have it. My wife and I thoroughly enjoy it and still enjoy it. And it's always been garaged. And it'll probably, I'm sure, be passed on to you.
Awesome. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and take it for a ride and see how it drives.
All right.
Hey guys, we're in a 1982 Corvette. Let me go ahead and put my seatbelt on real fast. Hey, can you show me how you do the telescopic steering wheel?
Yeah, this is pretty neat. Of course, it's tilt, like a lot of cars are, but it's also telescopic. It's got a little lever up here that you turn, which allowed you to pull the steering wheel out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a function you had in 1982.
Yep.
And we were just talking about it, that we just realized that if you look around the interior in 1982, especially in the Corvette, you don't see cup holders, which is kind of strange nowadays in 2020. Every car, I think people will have a fitted. They didn't have cup holders, and people complain about the placement of your gear shift and how it relates to your cup holders. And of course, you guys have an e-brake, which a C7 has electronic brake, which I'm not really a big fan of. But yeah, man, it's just pretty cool. And like I said, no cup holders in this car, so all business. And we were just talking about how the leg room, we both sat in the C8, and we always compared the C3 to C8 and the leg room in it. But I feel like, to me, it feels like the leg room is better in the C3 than C8, because you don't have that, I guess, the whole dash part or whole buttons right there as a passenger. But my dad, he took this Corvette to Florida, and my dad and my mom had a good ride and very comfortable. But anyway, we just wanted to show you guys how that works, and the old school e-brake, and of course the automatic transmission, and Up, up, up. Ride 1982 Corvette, of course, with our masks on. Happy 4th of July, guys. This is an awesome experience. So I'm asking, what's the mileage on the car so far?
90,056.
Wow. For 1982, that's not bad, guys. I can definitely attest that my dad took care of this car. It always stayed in the garage. And he's definitely more mechanical skilled than I am. I kind of learned a lot of stuff from him. But definitely take good care of it. Pleasure to drive, and I'll let you guys kind of enjoy riding in a 1982 Corvette. I don't know if you know, did the Stingray name, I know it got dropped before 1982, but do they still consider 1982 Corvette a Stingray?
Well, a lot of people that see most people that see C3s, they consider C3 still a Stingray. Yeah.
Still got that classic body shape of a 1968 Corvette all the way to 1982. Pretty much the same body. I know they got rid of chrome bumpers in I guess fully got rid of chrome bumpers in 1972. They went to chrome in the rear and polyurethane in the front in 1973. And by the time they got to 1982, of course, they had all of the plastic bumpers, or I guess we would call it. I guess it would be plastic bumpers, but polyurethane bumpers. Of course, everybody knows Corvettes are made out of fiberglass. Drives real smooth. Definitely still get the looks. I love how the fenders, you can see how comparable to my Z06, you can see the similarities in how the front fenders flow and how the hood is. And of course, glass T-tops. So in the C7s, they got Targa tops, and the 82 they had T-tops. The difference is you have this part right here that goes in the middle. That's how it looks. It looks very similar to my C7 with the rear quarter panel scene. You can see that in the mirror. Definitely a cruiser, man. This is awesome. See all the gauges right there? I don't know, is that I guess that's a tape track, right? It's not an 8-track.
Yeah, it's a cassette.
It's a cassette tape. And check that out. So before even CDs, and everybody know how old CDs are, tape deck. See the clock still works?
With electric antenna. It goes, the antenna goes up electrically, and that was one of the options on the car, actually.
You know what's so funny, guys? I remember riding in this car. It's funny how you ride in a car when you were a little kid and bring all the memories. But back here, my parents used to a storage area. And as kids, we used to crawl back there. Me and my sister had a good time. No push button starting. Got a key. Analog gauges. Oh, man, what an awesome car.
You just point something out right quick. This throws people for a flip even today that get in this car. In order to turn the key completely off, there's a little switch that's next to the ignition. And most people that get in this car, if they're not familiar with it, they will not know how to actually turn the key off, the ignition off far enough to get the key out, and they'll wonder what's wrong with it. But on GMs, a lot of GMs and back in the 80s, you had to actually switch here that you would push down on in order to completely turn the ignition switch off. Of course, that went away. I want to say it probably went away when the 84 came out.
84. Well, that's good information. When you said on it, you gotta put another cam in it. Is it the same specs as factory, or you had different specs?
No, it's a little bit. It's a comp cam. If I remember right, it's a comp cam 268. It's got a little more lift than what the factory cam had. I really wanted to go a little bit larger, but because this is a computer-controlled car, I couldn't go any larger than that without it affecting the drivability of the car.
Like I said, it drives pretty smooth. You know, when you come to idle, you can feel a little bit coming from two cammed out cars. You know, it's pretty much the same. It feels good. I think mine's a little bit more radical, but it drives smooth. By the way, those two cars, my C5Z06 and 427 Corvette, convertible Corvette, my dad helped me put both cams in it. Sorry for the bumpy ride. Put both cams in the car, and man, those two cars was pretty awesome. Again, this is the car that started all. This is the car that's the purpose of the channel, Corvette-Mopar for life. And this is an absolute joy for 4th of July. Get spend time with my dad and enjoy his 19. Let me repeat it, because my mom would get on me. Enjoy my mom and my dad's 1982 Corvette. Alright guys, we're coming to the end on the ride. Enjoy your 4th of July. This is kind of a 4th and a Father's Day video for me. Take care guys. We're about to come back to the Challenger real fast. One more look at the 1982 Corvette. Man, Dan, I really appreciate the ride.
Hey, I appreciate you sharing the 82 with your viewers.
Awesome, man. I bet they enjoy it. Take care, guys.